Hello, hello, welcome back to the stream, everybody. What are we doing today? I don't know. We're gonna figure it out. I've got a lot of stuff that I need to do. Again, we're marching toward the playtest, so gotta get the map feeling good, looking good. The new wanted system feeling good and looking good. And I was doing some work on that yesterday, fixing some issues with it. So we're going to give it a little bit of a play test, and we're going to see, I guess, how it's feeling. I think for the play test, so I said there's going to be like multiple factions in the game, which is really just going to change the types of cards you're playing against. But I don't think that's going to be available for the play test. So I think we're getting to the point where I think it's feeling okay. And I'll show you all the stuff that I've done. But anyway, before I get into it, I want to remind everyone that Gunforged is available for purchase. So if you're interested, please check that out. It's a great way to support me. It's my first release as a full-time indie developer. And I also have my Udemy courses. This one is the newest one. It teaches you how to build an online multiplayer cooperative game in Godot. So you'll learn all of the high-level multiplayer features of Godot, how to connect over the internet, all that good stuff. But of course, I also have other Udemy courses as well, including a C# course. So all of these things are linked in the description below. If you're interested in those, please check them out. I appreciate all the support. And let's get started here. Hello, Pokey Teo. Welcome. Great to have you here. Hello, Yeet. Welcome back. It's time for game dev once again. Welcome, Jackie Daytona. Meep, even more cinema, yes. Welcome, welcome. Time for backseat game dev. Oh, goodness. Hello, D. Hello, hello. Phil, hello. Good morning, Emerson. Welcome back as always. Great to see you. Zebras, are you familiar with Unreal? I am not. No, I'm sorry. Not familiar with Unreal, but welcome back to the stream. Great Levine, good to see you again. Good morning, Chris. Welcome back. Cool Modder Jaden, always good to see you. Snup Bill with the yummers. Thank you, thank you. Always good to see that in the morning. Okay, so let's take a look. Yummers, yeah. How am I? I'm good. Thank you. How are you doing? Do I say good morning or afternoon? It's morning for me, yeah. It's 10 o'clock in the morning here. So I've done a couple of things. I didn't really do a whole lot of work on the game yesterday after the stream because I had other stuff to do. But so I added camera panning. That was a big request. So I have camera panning now. If I press spacebar, that recenters on the player. So that's good. And I also increased the visibility out of the nodes. So previously you could only see two hops away. I increased that to 3. And we're probably going to want some kind of some kind of fog of war, I guess. I wonder how I would do that. Some kind of fog of war, though. Might be interesting to figure out how that works. But anyway, yeah, maybe that might be a good thing to experiment with. Maybe not on this stream. Sorry, I just started thinking about how I do a fog of war shader. What I think I would do is I would pass in a vector 2, which is a world position of all of the nodes that have been discovered. And I would basically just carve those out of some kind of noise texture for the fog of war. And that could all work as like a screen shader. So I wouldn't have to like render the entire map or anything. I could just render the section of the screen using the world positions, translate those to screen positions, and then that will tell me in the shader which parts of the screen need to be revealed. That would actually be kind of cool because then I could have like all this stuff out here would be obscured. So as you move, the fog of war would be revealed. That would be interesting. I'm going to have to experiment with that. It would certainly add quite a lot more to the gameplay, I think. And then, of course, I would keep the explored nodes revealed in the fog of war. So as you carve your way through the map, you could see all the places you've came from. So anyway, that's a lot to think about right now, but there was actually a bug with the wanted level. So I think what I'll do is I'll just give this a playthrough and see how it's feeling, see if we can get to the boss. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go this way first, grab an upgrade for my board size, then place the skeletons on there, fight this. Hello, A the Ant, welcome back. It's 5 p.m. for you. I can't type. It's all right. Gotta say, I'm kind of into the minimalist style of the map since you disabled decorations. Really? Maybe that's just a signal that I need to go lighter on the decorations, which I could do for sure. What's my game about? It's a collectible card game grid inventory management auto battler with a necromancy, alchemy, and medieval science theme, where the hook of the game is that you can alchemize cards together to combine different cards into a single new card that has abilities of both. I think I'm getting that elevator pitch down. Disabled decoration should be an option or maybe a toggle when progressing. I don't know about making that an option, but I think maybe what I'm hearing is that the map is too busy when I have the old style of decorations on. So I wonder if I could still place decorations and just make them a lot less frequent, like place a couple of trees here and like some grass here and just put a lot more negative space in the map, I guess. Alt is my favorite salad dress. Andrew, good morning. Bought your C# course. I've been loving it. Would love more C# courses in the future. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you. And thank you for buying it. When did I start game dev? When I was 14 years old. Good luck with your interview, Marcus. I hope it goes well. Can we all wish Marcus good luck on the interview? Thank you, Zabraz. Been taking a lot of TypeScript courses. Yeah, I love TypeScript. You got an elevator pitch, but what about an elevator yaw and an elevator roll? Game looks great. Thank you, Marcus. Adding back the firefly birds and the fog you mentioned would probably look gorgeous. Yeah, I'm actually really curious with that. I might take a little detour and do a Fog of War shader on this stream, but we'll see. I don't really have a good plan for this stream. I'm still kind of getting into it. Echo, yes, thank you. All right. Let's go to the booster now. I need some kind of indicator for how much my wanted level actually is as well. Ooh, let's put this here. Okay, should we do alchemy? Ooh, let's do alchemy. Yeah, alchemy, and then let's do that. I don't want that. Let's alchemize. Ooh, I don't want to alchemize the echo because I might lose it. Here we go. Deal 7 damage. Okay, so I just got axes that all have the same thing. That's all right. Okay, another combat. Let's fight it. Let's fight it. Boom. Ooh, that's a windmill. Windmills are actually kind of scary. This windmill here reduces the remaining turns of adjacent minion cards by 3. So in other words, it accelerates the minion cards by 3 turns, which you could see there's 3 minions on the board, so that's a little bit scary, but we got it. We got it. Ooh, now do I go this way or do I go up this way? Let's see. There's 2 boosters and an enchant. Increase board size, though. I don't necessarily want to go that way because I'm going to have to revisit a node, I think. Yeah, if I go this way and I want to go down this path, I'd have to revisit at least one node. The way to avoid that would be to go this way first and then come back over here. But do I want to do that? An enchant and more cards couldn't hurt, plus alchemy. I don't know what this one is, though. That's the thing. All right, let's just go here. Let's do it. I'm liking this. I'm liking this. I'm feeling like I have to make some interesting decisions, which is good. This art is so bad. I need to fix that. Enchant a card. Let's enchant this one. Oh, we have another axe, too. Increases critical multiplier turn cooldown reduced by 1. That will help. Boop. Okay. Another booster. Oh, it's health. Nice. I'm also 14 and starting game dev with UE5. Very nice. Very nice. Doesn't the fog go against your rule of not using transparency? No, it won't use transparency, no. It won't use transparency. It'll just be like a black fog that gets cut out, you know? Good morning, Ninja Link. Welcome back. Started game dev at like 12 years old. Does that mean I'm better than Firebelly? It could be. It could mean that. Of course, there are game developers that started at age 30 and are way better than any of us, so that's a little wrinkle in that idea, though. Anyway, let's see. Increase health by 15. Ooh, that's a big one. Wow. Why did that get so big? Let's go to the alchemy, though. Oh gosh, I have too many of these. Let's sell those. I don't like looking at these. Go away. We might as well do this with the paralysis. Let's do that. Applies 8 turns of paralysis to 1 random enemy minion. There we go. We've got a minion destroyer board here. I'm kind of curious if I can beat this one. I don't think so. Actually, I probably can't beat that one. Let's go. Oh, there's a shop there, and I can pan the camera now. There's a shop, enchant card, booster. So going this way would entail going into two combats. Or I could avoid the combats and go up here and grab the shop. Let's see. Do I want to go this way? I don't really have anything else I want to alchemize. And I don't have a chance for a booster before I get to that alchemy. So actually I might swing up to this one and then come back down this way. Yeah, that's the play right there. So we'll do the upgrade card, we'll upgrade the Skeletron. Bang! Give me that Skeletron. And then we'll come back down here and we'll beat this guy. That axe should paralyze. Oh, it paralyzed the dog, that's alright. Sweet. Okay. Booster. More minions, yes please. More minions. I do like this booster change. Previously you could only select one card from the booster, but getting all of them feels a lot better. Okay. Going to the... This one should be relatively easy. I have a Corvid here. I need a board size increase, that's what I need. Cool. Here we go, board size increase. Ooh, there's an artifact there too. I haven't really been paying attention to my wanted level. So yeah, I need to know what my exact wanted level is, but it looks like... I don't know. Can I swing this? Ooh, that's a 1.12 though. I want to go up here, get the artifact, and get the shop. Let's go here. Do I upgrade the skeleton again? I think I'm going to upgrade this one, actually. Nice. That's great. Artifact. Oh, Skull Wand. Oh, yeah, I'll take that. Just give my skeleton. Oh, you know what I could have used? I could have used an Iron Gauntlet, but that did not. I did not get that option, so it's fine. Ooh, Basilisk Eye. How much money do I have? 15 or 57. So increase board size. That would be useful. Actually, I could put the Corvid there. Do I want to alchemize anything? Maybe I'll buy the increased board size. Let's see. Yeah, let's buy the Basilisk Eye and then buy the increased board size. Yep. I could put the Salamander there and put another Skeletron there. Sweet. Oh, and I can still buy a max health increase. Or do I want to do alchemy? What do I have to alchemize? Oh, I could alchemize one of these axe. Oh, I have another axe here. So let's alchemy the Corvid with an axe. Let's see. Dang it. That's not the outcome that I wanted. Oh, wait, no. Wait, this does 7 damage. It will double the damage if there's an adjacent minion. It deals 8 damage by itself, and it will echo if the board contains multiple axe cards, which it does. So I might as well just... I might as well get rid of this skeleton and grab this and put that there. Oh my gosh. And it's got the minion down here, which is still gonna... Wow, this is gonna be crazy. Okay, here we go. This is gonna be crazy. Shoot, I kind of got myself into a little pickle. I can't really do anything with this shop here, unless there's something extremely cheap. Nope. Oh, and now we're into the boss fight. Here we go. Okay. So this is the mayor, this is the boss. I think I've gotten decently powerful. 131 health. This is going to be the dangerous one. 25 damage, 50% chance to miss, but a 20% chance to crit. So if this guy hits me, he could potentially do 50 damage to my health. And there's another prisoner on the board too. But let's see what happens. Oof. I did it. I won. There's no boss victory state, but that's all right. I won. Oh, wow. Okay, that was fun. Hello, Ali. Welcome back. It's really hard to translate ideas or natural language into code. Do you have any advice? Yeah, I think the typical approach is just try to break down the problems into as small of a part as small of parts as possible. So the classic example I give is like, if you're trying to make a top-down RPG, like what are the problems just in that statement alone? Well, you need a tile set, you need a character, but you can break those down even further. You need a tile set that has collisions on certain tiles, right? And you need a character that has a certain sprite and also needs to be able to move, but being able to move requires, you know, actually moving the thing, but also detecting inputs. So you kind of like fragment all of these large ideas down into their smaller constituent parts. So in order to get a player, what do you have to do from the bottom up? You have to detect inputs, you have to make the inputs move the character, you have to apply visuals to the character, then you have to make the character collide with the terrain. But in order to make the character collide with the terrain, you need to have a tile set, and that tile set needs to have collisions. And so like you see how you just kind of like keep building up from the bottom. So that's my advice to you, is just try to get down to the simplest parts of your idea and then go from there. And that works whether you're talking about like the actual code implementation or like how do you actually start with a blank project and start building it up, right? It works from a technical but also like an overarching perspective, I guess. Waterbelly, yeah. A prodigy is a prodigy at any age, true. I started at 38, yeah. How long have you been working on this? Since March. My concern for the alchemy system is I have a hard time remembering which buff is on which minion from a glance. They have an updated border, but I wish there was more info. Yeah, I have to figure that out. I might introduce some kind of like condensed tooltip. But there's just so much text here, I don't know how I would do that with the space I have. I don't know. Yeah, that's a good point. What I love is the use of shaders in your art. It's like special effects. Yeah, thank you. Hello, Wooius. It would be nice to see what exactly changed when it was upgraded. I can't distinguish the 3 options fast enough to see what's going on. Yeah, I can figure something out for that. I mean, you can click on each one and figure out which one has the abilities you want, but I wonder if something as simple as popping up, well, no, that wouldn't work either. I was going to say popping open the description slider drawer as soon as you hover over something, but that could obscure. Like here, you see how this is highlighting enemy cards? If I pop this up, you wouldn't be able to see it. Anyway, if you don't use transparency, how do you hide show sprites like in the shop? I use a shader to cycle through the palettes in my color. So they cycle down to the next color in the palette until they get to black, and then I can just delete it because it looks like it has disappeared. Victory to the devs. Yeah, Firebelly won. Yeah, this is good advice here. What's the concept of the game? It's a grid inventory management auto battler with a necromancy, alchemy, and medieval science theme where you can alchemize cards together, which means to combine multiple disparate cards into a single new card that has abilities of all of the inputs. Okay. If the tile size was increased, scaled up, you may have more room to display extra info in the minion tile, but that may lead to a lot of visual noise. Yeah. Nice idea to hide objects. I like it. Yeah. I'm gonna have to figure out all this quality of life stuff. I think it's a solvable problem. I just have to, because I'm dealing with some massive constraints. Like this is a 640 by 360 window. So like this, I've mentioned this before, but just for anyone that's new here, this font size you see here, this is the minimum size that a font can be. So like if you're just like, oh, well, you could just make the text smaller. No, I can't. This is the minimum size the font can be. So yeah, that's just part of my limitations here. Okay, that was fun though. I really liked that experience. I don't know why this keeps wanting to add new lines. Okay, add new lines. Whatever. I got a new keyboard, so I may be making typos. You definitely need to put the game idea in a pinned message. Yeah, there's so much stream setup that I need to do every time. I almost wonder if I can make it like an element on the screen that pops up. Nothing feels like clickable interactable to me unless you hover over it. You also have to keep in mind that combat events might have background art at some point. Right, yeah. All this stuff will be figured out. There's lots of quality of life stuff that I still have to do. Which keyboard did you get? I got the Keychron K2HE, so the Hall effect magnetic switches. It's the special edition one with the wood accents on the side, which I like. My previous keyboard was a Keychron, the one that I just swapped out, but I also had custom switches in there. What in the heck? I've got a weird lighting effect coming on. What is going on? Oh gosh, I just messed up my lighting on my keyboard. Okay, hold on. That's gonna distract me. Ah! What in the heck is going on? I think I did something. What in the... Oh. I accidentally changed the mode. Okay, we're just gonna turn the lighting off real quick. Okay, sorry about that. Keychron is good stuff. Yeah, I really like their keyboards. They're reasonably priced and they feel good, like really good quality. So not top end by any means, but I guess it didn't take you for a keyboard nerd. I'm not really, I mean, I tried to be a keyboard nerd with my previous keyboard and then I was like, I don't really like it that much. So I'm just going to buy whatever is available to me off the shelf and like, you know, but I do like mechanical keyboards, of course. Magnetic key switches, those are a thing. Yeah, they're really cool. You can customize the actuation point. So you can make the actuation really shallow or really deep depending on your preferences. And there's also profiles. So like for gaming, if you wanted to, you could set it so that they have a very shallow activation so that barely pressing the key will do an input. But for typing, you could set the activation point deeper so that if you accidentally bump a key, you can control basically the threshold by which you will endure typos. Looking back at this project, have you learned anything new? Or are you just applying what you already know? Have I learned anything new? I mean, I'm continuing to learn pixel art. My pixel art skills have definitely improved even just working on this project. But in terms of like the technical implementations, not really. I'm kind of applying stuff that I've already learned. So, I mean, I guess I did learn... No, that's not true. One thing I learned was wave function collapse, which is an algorithm that I've seen mentioned for like procedural generation in all kinds of places, but I never really sat down and tried to learn it until this project. And now I think I have a pretty good grasp on that. But yeah, for the most part, stuff that I've already known. You got a ZSA Voyager with a mix of silent, linear, and tactile switches. Ooh, that's interesting. 8-bit Do Retro 87. Do I need another keyboard? Maybe. I have a lot of keyboards too. I have like 4 different mechanical keyboards just cluttering up my closet right now. People are often confused about how little I know about computer hardware despite being into this stuff. Yeah. I mean, when I was like 24, I knew everything there was about like which RAM was available and like which CPU were the best options at certain price points and like which GPUs you should get for your budget, and like I haven't kept up with any of that stuff, so now I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know any of that stuff anymore. Anyway. I don't know any of that stuff anymore. I mean, I'm competent. I can put together a PC build, but I definitely don't know the ins and outs of all the different pieces of hardware. I kind of really want to do the Fog of War shader, which is going to kind of take us in a weird direction, but you know, we got to follow what our heart says, right? If you always follow your heart and your passions, nothing bad will ever happen. I don't know why I have that print. Okay, let's do a Fog of War shader. Why not? So let me ask you all this. Are we feeling good about the map overhaul? Like, do we all unanimously prefer the large map over the small single screen map that I had made previously? I think my answer is yes, but I'd be curious to get your thoughts because I've been working on a different branch this whole time and I kind of want to get back into the main branch here. So let me just take a quick poll. I think you end up learning a lot when you can't buy something, because if you can buy something, you think it's good enough, you buy it. But if you can't buy it yet, you keep looking into it. Yeah, that's true. What's that quote? Yeah, don't take that advice, actually. Map overhaul is goated. That's good. If it's just a layer, are you going to do something simple like drawing on a grayscale texture? I was thinking what I would do. Actually, I don't know if I can do this. Maybe I should try that out first. I was just going to pass in an array of points of nodes that have been discovered and then reveal a radius around them. Oh, that's going to be a little bit tricky, actually. I think what I might have to do is pass in an array of points that indicate where in the world the fog has been revealed. And so, like, you can imagine I put a point here, I put a point here, 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 here. But I also might need to put points like midway through the roads as well. I don't know. That's a good question. I guess we're going to figure it out. Larger map slaps. Okay, good. Good morning, Julio. Just passing by to actually see some work being done, different from my own projects. I actually haven't done that much work in this stream. I've been still trying to collect my thoughts here, but yeah, welcome. Glad that you stopped by. Larger map increases my curiosity to explore. Smaller map, I can see all my options, but lessens curiosity. Yeah, I think that's right. Oh, I'm talking more about how you were masking. Normally it's multiply. Oh, I see. Yeah, I mean, I think I was just going to do like a big old black noise texture over everything, and then just cut out the parts where the noise is applied based on the world positions of what has been revealed. Also reminds me of the skill tree with this cool subconscious feeling. Yeah, that's true. Have you ever checked out cat-like coding stuff? I have not. What's that like? Okay, so I think the new map does slap, so I'm gonna go ahead and merge that, which I do through the GitHub interface. Oh, I have to close Godot so it doesn't screw anything up. Go back to the master branch, synchronize. I'm going to reload this window just in case. Delete branch. Git fetch prune. Cool. Now we can reopen Godot. I agree with Yeet. Awesome. Do you have any plans for background behind the boards when fighting? Yes, I do. The problem is that, you know, it's one thing to draw card art, but it's another thing to draw, like, here's like a main menu that I'm starting to work on. This is not the name of the game. This was a name that I was considering, but I'm not going to use that. But yeah, like the problem with like a main menu or like the battle screen is that it takes up so much space, and so the pixel art needs to be so much more detailed. And it's just like, I'm trying to, before I commit to drawing like a kind of screen like this for hours and hours and hours, I'm trying to think if there's a more elegant, simple way I can do it. But it's not, it may just have to be the case that I have to spend a bunch of time drawing these highly detailed screens. But we'll see. I've got a lot of irons in the fire, things that I'm thinking about. Okay. Have you ever really had a, oh my gosh, I can't read. Have you ever had a really cool idea for a game mechanic but realized you didn't yet have the skills to implement it? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Especially when I was younger and I didn't know much about game development, but even now it's like, maybe it's not necessarily that I don't have the skills, but I just can't possibly do it by myself. So it's pretty cool. He has years of good Unity tutorials, but has recently started teaching Godot. They're also very good. Oh, that's awesome. I love to see people defecting to Godot. Are you using LFS? I'm not, my large file storage budget is capped out, so I'm just committing the assets directly to the repository without LFS. And for the most part, it's fine because like the pixel art is like max 2 kilobytes per image, so it's not that big of a deal at all. But when I start adding sound effects and music and stuff, yeah, it's gonna get pretty heavy. But you know, maybe I'll buy LFS. With a larger map, you also have more wiggle room for special events. What if defeating a mini boss opens a new shortcut through a forest or an event that happens on the other side of the map? Yeah, that's a good point too. Yeah. Yeah. Battle background could just be something pretty, looks code generated. That's an interesting idea too. Yeah, a lot of stuff to think about. What structural design pattern are you using? I don't know if there's like an explicit pattern that I'm using. For the cards, basically the cards here are just, they're composition based. So all of the card abilities are basically amalgamations of all these very simple abilities. And these things have very narrow functionality. And I'm making heavy use of interfaces and all that stuff to make that work. But then I build the cards out of these building blocks. So if I look at damage bank, for instance, I've got damage ability, that's the base damage. Then I've got a bank damage ability. Then I've got an execution count provider. And then I've got a card damage dealt provider. And then dynamic magnitude ability that modifies the bank damage ability based on a certain condition. And then that conditional ability decorator is also applied to the execution count, or the base damage ability, I mean. Anyway, there's a lot going on here that I can't really get into right now, but the idea is that I'm building up the functionality of each cards from multiple different like implementations that provide very narrow sets of functionality and data. And I guess you could call that composition. It's a composition in a sense, I guess. But that's the main thing. Everything else is pretty architecturally straightforward, I think, in this game. How is the name Grave Brew? Ooh, that's a good one. Nah, no, I can't. See, of all the things to have viewers suggest, I feel like the name can't be the thing that the viewers suggest. I don't know why. Like the name feels very like it feels very like, if I can't even come up with a name for my game, then am I even building it? I know that's probably irrational, but like the name of all things, like I should come up with the name, you know? But I do like Grave Brew a lot. Grave brew is good. Backpack Battles has a very useful battle protocol. Are you planning on implementing something similar? It's very handy for build optimizations and understanding synergies. I don't know what battle protocol is. Can you elaborate on what that system is a little bit? All right, let's try a Fog of War shader. I don't know how this is going to work, but we're going to do it. So I really think it's fairly rational. You made it and the name should be yours to give. How often do you use LLMs? I use it for writing boring code and to help debug small functions when I'm learning something new. Yeah, that's basically how I use it. Yeah. Sometimes if I have a bug that I really don't feel like expending the mental willpower to figure out, I'll just like throw in a bunch of code that I know is related and say, there's a bug that's doing this here somewhere. And then, you know, the AI will be like, oh, I see the issue. You just forgot to subtract 1 from this, you know, iteration variable or whatever. So it's useful for that too. Also, I use it a lot to brainstorm architectural changes in the game. So I'll like give it a bunch of context and then I'll say, okay, here's how my system works. Here's the problem that I'm facing. I want to implement X and Y feature in an extensible way that makes as much use of the architecture that I've laid out as possible. And then the AI will be like, well, here's 5 different approaches that you could consider. Most of the time, I don't like the approaches that it recommends, but sometimes it gives me ideas for how to extend my game. So that's very useful too. It's useful as a sanity check when you come up with an architecture and you're like, I don't know if that's going to work. You can put in your architecture idea or design idea into the AI and say like, hey, what do you think of this? What are the pitfalls? And are there any other approaches that might suit my needs better? That's very helpful a lot of times too. So yeah, I think the best way to think about AI right now is like an interactive, highly intelligent rubber duck, where you can just chat about your problems with it, and it helps quite a bit. This game looks fun. Thank you, Hashcat. Appreciate that. Also, if you end up with Grave Brew, I will have bragging rights till the day I die, so keep that in mind. Yeah, I don't want that to happen. Definitely don't want that to happen. Back in the day, assembly programmers believed C and C++ can never replace it. Now with LLMs, it feels similar. What do you think? Yeah, I don't know if LLMs are quite at that point. And even if they were at that point, it would still not be replacing language. It would just be writing the technical code. But yeah, I mean, I'm here. I have a lot of friends and colleagues that are software engineers, and the unanimous situation is that all of these companies are basically mandating that their engineering departments use the coding assistants, the AI coding assistants. So it's definitely going that direction. Okay, anyway, let's get into a Fog of War shader. How is this gonna work? I gotta get these canvas layers situated. Oh gosh. Okay, let's change this to 10. This will make this 9. No. Yeah, we'll make that 9. And then let's go to the skip event button. We're going to make this. That can stay 5. Okay. All right. So let's do this. Add child node canvas layer. Fog of War canvas layer. We're going to add another back buffer copy here. I hope these back buffer copies are not going to create problems for me. Maybe I shouldn't use screen rect. Oops. The delete key position has changed on my new keyboard, so that's going to be awkward. Okay, color rect. Ignore. Okay, let me think about this. I think I basically want to copy the light shader. I don't even know if I can do this, first of all. Let's do this. Let's duplicate this. This is fog of war.gd shader. Okay, fog of war. Let's close other tabs. Can I do that? Uniform vec2 light or revealed positions. Does that not work? Unknown array size is forbidden. Oh. So I could set this to just a reasonably large number. Setting default values to uniform arrays is not supported. So I could just say we just need 500 positions. I don't know if that's going to be too much or whatever, but okay, so that's interesting. I can't edit the... Oh wait, I'm in the wrong one. Let's do a new shader material. Quick load fog of war.gd shader. Yeah, so I can have an array of 500 positions here. Okay. Is that going to be too much? I have no idea. It should be fast enough, but I suggest checking services, but if you use components, you are using composite structural pattern. Okay, interesting. Most of my friends use it for writing code. In Backpack Battle, the auto battle is running. Every triggered item and every triggered effect is protocoled with timestamp on what it triggered. You basically get a list like turn 1. Oh yeah, so it's like a combat log. Yeah, I definitely want to add a combat log to this game, especially one that you can review after the battle is over. An entire generation urged to study comp sci only for AI to come along. Seriously? Just study math instead. Give it 4 years, we'll be back to growing rice. Have you ever considered making a 3D or even VR game? No, 3D is a little bit too much work for a solo developer right now. I do think LLMs are going to stagnate, though. They have already been fed insane amounts of information. There's only so much, not to mention the environmental problems they bring. Right. Well, I think the main problem is just... yeah, they're kind of running out of information, and so it's like the question is, how do you make them better with all the information that's out there if you've already consumed basically all the information? I dislike arrays in GDScript. NumPy has spoiled me. Okay, so we got the revealed positions. Let's call this revealed world positions. I'm going to copy this, paste that there, make unique recursive. Okay, this is probably going to be easier to do if I go in here. What? I'm going to try to trim this down myself first. float. Reveal radius. We don't need this. We don't need that. Okay. Okay, time to bring out Claude. I want this Godot shader to be a fog of war shader, which covers the screen in color black, unless screen currently contains a points in revealed world positions. Each point should carve out the black color based on its reveal radius. The noise texture should be used and animated to smoothly transition from the edge of the radius into the black, color black portions of the screen. Let's turn it to agent mode, and let's also stage these changes just in case it goes off the rails. Okay, here we go. Start the prompt with "You are an elite graphics programmer." All right, let's see. Screen starts covered in color black. Areas are revealed around points. Well, the problem is that this is going to do 250 iterations for each pixel. I don't want any alpha blending. The color should either be color black or the color from screen texture. Any day now, Claude. Any day. Okay. Is there a way to test this now? Oh, look at that. That's a little bit intense, but... So let's do this then. Let me see if this just will work. We're gonna have to do some modifications, I'm sure, but that's all right. Okay. So now I need to get those points into the fog of war rect. Private, static, read-only, string name, shader, revealed, world, positions. I keep doing func. I'm still in GD script mode. Public override void ready. I think I need private packed vector2. Does that not work? Can I just do a vector2 like this? 250 revealed world positions equals that. Maybe I don't need this. Okay, so now map container. Distance less than 3 and not current run map node dot visited. Oh. What did I call this? Oh, let's do this. Public bool is visited. This is not the best thing in the world, but how am I actually going to do this? I actually don't know. I actually don't know. I almost wonder if I should move... Should I move the Fog of War into here? Shoot. This is a mess. Well, let's just get it working at a basic level first. Public delegate void node revealed event handler. int node index. Okay. Goodness, this is going to be a little bit tricky, but that's okay. I'm going to have to redo this massively, I think. But we're just going to get it working for now. All right. Then in my game map here, why does it do that? Keeps, oops, I don't know what I just did. Keeps like not finishing that properly. Anyway, map container dot node revealed plus equals on node revealed. On node revealed. I think that will work. I don't know. Hello, Ito Makes Games. Welcome back. Let's see what happens. Did this even do anything? It appears not. I don't know if this world position is correct. You are really cute, Firebelly. Thank you. Started my roguelike and it's doing great, but I want to have multiple regions and I want a color palette for each. How to find good matching color palettes? Well, one way to do it is to get a larger color palette that has like 64 colors and then use a subset of that color palette for each region. I think that would probably be the way to do it, because then you get a cohesive color palette you're not mixing and matching different color palettes together. But one thing that you could do too is just read up on or watch some YouTube videos on color theory, and that should help you out quite a bit. Hello, Snow Hornet. How much of this game have you worked on? I don't know how far it is to done. It would be hard to estimate, maybe 25%. I don't think this world position is correct. Okay. Oh, I'm not setting the global top left position either. Ah! Oh, this has to be... Oh, I need to get... Yeah, this is wrong in a lot of ways. This needs to be fog of war rect dot material. Okay. I have no clue if that's going to work, but let's give it a shot. How long have I been working on it? Since March. Hello, Turbo Shook. Welcome back. Oh, it looks like we maybe got some Fog of War working. Oh, no. I don't think it's working. Maybe it is? Oh, it's covering up my run progress bar too. Okay. What is this game about? This is the first stream about it that I'm watching. Is that true? I think you've been here before, Snow Hornet. This is the same game that I've been working on before the GMTK Jam. But it's a collectible card game grid inventory management auto battler. That's the game? I don't think this is working. Let's try something. Oh, the things we do. Const vec4 color white. I'm just going to make the fog white so I can see it. That might help a little bit. Oh, did I break something? Oh, this needs to be color black. Okay, interesting. So I figured it was something weird like that. I think this is too... Okay, so that's working. But I think it's probably too... what's the word? It's probably too taxing. That's very trippy. Okay. I mean, it's working at a very basic level. But I think I'm going to need to figure out a different way of doing this. This seems very performance heavy. Doing 250 iterations per pixel on screen. What are some more performant ways to accomplish? Pre-computed texture. Instead of calculating distances in the shader, render revealed areas to a separate texture. I don't know how to do that in Godot, that's the thing. Oh wait, I think I know how to do it. Hold on a second. Do I know how to do it? Oh gosh. How do I pre-compute a texture in Godot? I'm working on an open world mini golf game and I'm wondering if you know a good way to add side quests in Godot. I mean, that's going to be very dependent on your game. That's one of those things where it's not like, here's the strategy for implementing side quests. It's very implementation dependent. So yeah, I don't know if I can point you to any good resources on that. That's one of those things where you're just going to have to try to make it work with your system. There's not going to be a one correct answer. Do I need a sub viewport, really? Using a rendering server. Fog mask texture. Create fog mask texture. Is that right? Hold on a second. Do I need to use the rendering server? Creates a two-dimensional texture and adds it to the rendering server. It can be accessed with the RID that is returned. The RID will be used in all Texture 2D rendering server functions. You want to free the ID with using the rendering server's free RID method. Oh, texture create. Oh man, this is too much for me. I don't think I want to use the image. I don't think that's right. Is that right? Maybe that is right. I don't know. I don't know what to use. Do I use the rendering server or do I use the image? I'll probably draw to a canvas texture. Oops. Canvas texture is an alternative to image texture for 2D rendering. Is that using frame buffers? I have no idea. I have no idea. While lurking the stream, it showed me a notification you commented on my GMTK Jam game. Oh, wow. Scuffed through all VFX in 3 hours and see what happens, ball one. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Sorry, Snowhunter, but yeah. What shortcut is that for documentation? F1. F1. Does anyone have any advice for setting up digitized sprites? That's a good question. Good morning, Adam York. Welcome, welcome. Welcome back, I should say. Always good to see you. No, I lost all motivation. Working with custom viewports is so scuffed as you can't force them to re-render manually. You have to wait for the main thread. Oh, interesting. Custom rendering server textures are also a bit wonky. Interesting. I reckon this is similar to using frame buffer objects in OpenGL. Best bet I've had so far is making a sub viewport, sharing the main world, and playing around with visibility layers. Interesting. Okay, this is going to be a lot more involved than I thought it would be. Any plans to release Retro Mortis? I'm probably going to open source it, but I have to scrub all the sound effects from it in order to open source it for licensing reasons. Regardless of using distance or not, you'll need to recompute the texture each time the points change, because you likely don't want to have a texture as large as your map, but only as large as the frame buffer. Right. I mean, it depends, because the map is only, well, it's only like the size of a 2K texture, so 2048. I think I feasibly could fit all of the fog reveal points in that kind of texture, but I think it's going to be a matter of figuring out which approach is going to be more efficient. Opt plus space. Oh, I see. We're doing some more shader magic today. We're going to be learning a lot. Can maybe have each node hold another sprite which expands and which is only visible on a layer which is rendered by the specific sub-viewport, which could work as a mask in a custom shader. Oh, interesting. What is your system in a game? I don't know what you mean, Kelso. If you want to elaborate. Sub-viewport might be the easiest method. Any tips for making devlogs? Well, the most important thing that you can do is make sure that your audio is good. No one wants to listen to a devlog that sounds like you're coming from a laptop mic. So, but you can use a laptop mic, and there's various processing you can do on it to make it sound better. But the most important thing, I think, for any YouTube video is that it has to sound good. And of course, it has to be entertaining as well. So you got to get your sound looking good. Also, you're going to want to make it concise. You don't want to have a lot of ums or uhs in your voiceover that you do for your devlog. You want to edit if you want to write a script, edit your script down, get to the point, don't ramble too much. Those would be my main tips. Did a similar thing to create recursive 2D portals for non-Euclidean hotel with proper light previews. One of the failed ideas from GMTK. Interesting, yeah. So you think that sub viewports would be the best? Draw rect. Draws the texture using a canvas item with the rendering server API at the specified position. Oh man. I don't understand these draw methods. I'm almost wondering if I could just have like a texture that's just like a circle and just use this draw to do that, but I would need a canvas item RID for it. Would I have to create a canvas item? Oh, here we go. Draw circle. Oh, but this is a node. I don't know. I have too much to learn about this to be productive on this in this stream. What type of game is this? It looks cool. It's a collectible card game, grid inventory management, auto battler. I just use my phone. It picks up my voice pretty well. The sub viewport is by far the easiest method, also decently fast, as either way Godot has to render the objects, and until we get a more customizable 2D pipeline renderer, seems to be the only way to go. Interesting. Hello, Schlurky. You can control when a sub viewport is rendering too, so you can turn it off when it's not updating. Gotcha. Can't instantly make it render, you have to wait till the rendering thread, not that I'm aware of. API looks pretty simple. Yeah, I mean, what I'm reading is it should be possible to just create like a texture and start drawing to it. And then pass that into the shader, but I don't know. I don't know. Oh, that's rough. I definitely can't do that. Make a texture as large as your viewport, store the canvas item of the cutout somewhere, and then draw it a bunch of times for visible points on screen. Then pipe it into a shader. So that's what I was thinking. So make a texture as large as your viewport, store the canvas item of the cutout somewhere, and then draw it a bunch of times for visible points on screen. So the canvas item needs to be a node. Does it need to be in the tree, or can I just hold on to it? I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure that out. Custom drawing in 2-page. Custom drawing in 2D. Custom drawing in a 2D node is really useful. Here are some use cases. Drawing a large number of... custom drawing avoids the overhead of a large number of nodes. Yeah. Add a script to any canvas item derived node like control, then override draw. Draw commands are described in the canvas item class reference. There are plenty of them. We'll see some of them updating. Okay. Draw function is only called once, and the draw commands are cached and remembered, so further calls are unnecessary. If redrawing is required because a variable or something has changed, call canvas item queue redraw. So in here, I could draw a circle. Is there a way to get the canvas item texture? Oh, wait. So what I could do is I could have... Oh, wait a minute. I wonder if it would be as simple as... Would it be as simple as taking this color rectangle here, this fog of war rectangle. This is a canvas item, right? I believe so, right? Color rect. Yeah, it's a canvas item. So I could draw all the circles on the fog of war rect, and then can't that just be used as the texture for the... Can't this just be used as the texture for the shader itself? So I don't really need to make this super complicated, right? I think I can do that. Because I think I did something similar to that. Yeah, I did that in Gunforged. Oh, wait. Maybe I didn't. Let's do... I guess we could do a quick test of that. I'm just gonna create something real quick. Is that gonna work or no? We'll find out. So color rect. I'm gonna need to add a... Okay, let's do this. Okay, before I get into this, I need to take a quick 3-minute break. So I'm going to take a quick 3-minute break, and when I get back, we're going to do this experimentation. Right now, I'm just trying to learn, trying to figure out what strategy is going to work. So we'll see, but yeah. Sorry on a work call, haven't heard anything in 5 minutes, that's all right. Yeah, so I'm going to take a quick 3-minute break, and when I get back, we're going to see what I can do with this shader here. All right, let's give this a shot. Test shader thing. We're just gonna save this at the root directory. I don't really care that much. Test shader thing. I keep doing that. Still in GDScript mode. Public override void draw. What is going on? Draw circle, add position. Radius, I guess we'll do 128. Colors dot white. Filled. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Let's see if that much works. Can you explain what your wire nodes is doing? I tried to find it in your GitHub and it came up empty. Yes, the wire nodes, it is on GitHub. It's in Godot utilities, the Godot utilities repository. That didn't work. It's in the Godot utilities repository. And what it basically does is for every, so I want to find an example, for every member that is marked with the node attribute, it generates code that will fetch that node at the relevant path and store it in that member. So if we look at the wire nodes here, so you got this node map container, wire nodes here, it's basically just doing get node or null under the hood, looking for a node with the name map container of various different styles. So it searches first for the normal name, and then it searches for the unique name, and then it tries snake case, so on and so forth. So it's basically just a way of, like, it takes your member name and tries to find a node in the scene with that name, and then if it finds one, it will automatically assign that to your map container, or to your node for you, or to your member for you. So it's just a nice way of quickly getting nodes. That's why I had a bunch of those get nodes in my code, not seeing them in yours. Thanks. Yeah, exactly. So it's just because writing get node over and over and over again is really, really cumbersome. So this just ends up being a lot nicer. And you know, the constraint here is that you have to use the member name that's the same as the node name, but I don't know why those would be different anyway. So yeah. Anyway, so we've got a circle. Cool. Now the question is, can I use a shader to change the color of the circle? Because if that's the case, then that's going to be good. So new shader material, new shader. Let's just make it a built-in shader, I suppose. Built-in shader, fragment. Let's do this. Vec for text color is equal to texture UV. Text color is equal to mix text color. We're gonna mix it with vec for, let's just do 1.0, 0.0, 0.0, 1.0. And we'll do it mix like that. And then we're going to say color is equal to text color. So what I'm trying to do is I'm going to try to change that circle to red. And then we'll do this. Color.a is equal to, let's do this. Vec for new color. Let's do this. Color.rgb is equal to new color.rgb. Color.a is equal to text color.a. I don't think that's going to work. It did not work. Did I do something wrong with my shader logic here? Oh, maybe I should just do the RGB channels. Let's try that. Still doesn't work? Why doesn't that work? Okay. I think what I might have to do is let's change this type to a sprite 2D. Let's enable region enabled, rect, width is 640, height is 360. Okay, let's edit this. I don't know if that's going to work either. Let's see. Okay, that works. So I can't use a color rect for that, which is unfortunate. The reason I wanted to use a color rect is because it will automatically expand to the screen size. Whereas this, I have to specify the size. But that works. So we know that this works because I'm drawing a white circle to the center of the screen, and then I'm changing the color of the circle using the shader. Here, I'm changing it to red in the shader. So we have confirmed at least that I can use the custom drawing functions to draw a circle, and then that becomes part of the canvas item's texture. So what I should be able to do, oh, but the problem now is, wait, is that a problem? Because then what I can do is, instead of passing along like 2 textures, what I can do is I can take this fog of war rect here. If I change that to a sprite and I just draw all the circles on the sprite that are going to be inside of the viewport or inside of the texture region. If I just do that, and then I can apply the shader directly to it, the fog of war shader, I think. I think that will work, right? Third argument of mix set to 1.0, so it's full red. Yes, exactly, yeah. That's basically like a lerp. Does Node handle screen rect with the prefix? I don't know. I've never seen that, so I'm not sure. I've been manually adding the path every time, yeah. Literally just installed Godot last week and started messing with it. Any third-party apps or widgets I should get to make development easier if I plan on coding in GDScript? I mean, the main thing I would recommend is checking out like VS Code or some like other external IDE that supports GDScript, because the built-in editor for Godot is okay, but you definitely get more refactoring support from a full IDE. But other than that, I would recommend actually keeping it light on add-ons. Just get a handle on Godot first before you start using add-ons, because then, you know, then you'll start to see the value of add-ons. Like you'll start to see if certain add-ons or plugins will make your life easier. But I think, yeah, I barely use any add-ons. Like this project here, you don't necessarily need them. I have 3 add-ons in this project and I'm only using one of them. And these are all add-ons that I wrote. So, and it's like, yeah, I don't really find a use for add-ons that much in my personal project. So yeah. Didn't know you're trying to draw, yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I think we're good. So I think that will work. Am I wrong? The problem though is that I would love for this to be a resizable texture, but I guess we can cross that bridge when we get there. Yeah, you're welcome, Moneybags. You're welcome. All right. I forgot my water in the other room. BRB real quick. Okay. All right. So I'm actually going to change this. Change this type. Okay, I'm going to save this branch as a scene, actually. Scenes, UI, map. Yeah, let's do fog of war texture, I guess. Save. Let's open this up. We're going to add this. Create. Okay. Private vector. Let's do a list. Vector 2, revealed positions. Add revealed position. I almost wonder if I should do a hash set in here, but we'll figure that out later. Let's just get it working. Public override void draw. That is so annoying. Oh my gosh. Okay. Draw. I wonder if this is automatically optimized, so if I try to draw off the texture, it won't work. But let's just keep it simple for now. Q redraw. So we got our fog of war texture. We still need to set the shader global top left. Actually, do I need to do that anymore? I don't think so. Actually, this needs to be changed. No, I think that's okay. Actually, don't need this. I don't need that either. On node revealed. What we're going to do is we're going to do fog of war texture.add revealed position. Okay. Oh, and I need to do this as well. What do I need to do? Region enabled. That's going to have to update based on if the screen size ever changes. Right now it should be fixed at 640 by 360, but that's going to have to change later on, I think, if I want to support different widths, for instance. But anyway, so now let's go back to my fog of war.gd shader. Okay. I've changed it so that the main texture coming in will already have white circles drawn where the fog should be revealed. Modify the shader to support this. Yep, I need AI to write shaders. I'm not smart enough. Okay. We also should no longer need the global top left position. All the position stuff isn't necessary now that the white circles are already drawn. All right, come on. Still lurking, Neozoid? Okay, and let's get rid of this. Actually, let's keep it as white for now. Keep. Okay, is this going to work? Let's find out. Let's find out if it works. Oh, we got some errors here. Shader compilation failed. Invalid member. Oh, this needs to be current color. .r. Claude making mistakes. Uh-huh. I don't think that worked. Okay, let's do this. I just want to see if the circles are even being drawn correctly. They are not. Do I even need this back buffer copy anymore? I don't think I need the back buffer copy anymore. Well, maybe I do. What in the heck? Am I editing the right thing here? I don't think I need the screen texture anymore. I shouldn't need the screen texture. Something's not working. Approximately how much would you say the game is left to complete? Probably like 75%, honestly. There's a fog of war, but what about fog of gore? Oh, interesting. That's funny. Where's my circles? Why are my circles not being drawn? Okay, I'm gonna do something different here. Ah. Okay, so that's working. Why wouldn't it be working here? Maybe I should get rid of this back buffer copy now. Oops. What in the heck? Fog of War canvas layer. Why isn't that working? Oh, let's not do centered. What am I doing wrong? I literally just tested this. I 100% literally just tested this. Why? It doesn't work in the canvas layer. Oh, don't tell me there's a problem with the canvas layer. Actually, I wonder, is a canvas layer, is that, that should be a canvas item, right? Oh, it's not a canvas item, no. Okay. We're gonna figure this out. So if I do this, it works, but then it gets shaded in incorrectly. But yeah, all these circles here, those are the positions where I want to reveal the fog. So that's working. I just need to figure out why the heck it's not working if I put it in this canvas layer. Why wouldn't that work? What happens if I crank this number up? Nope. Doesn't work. Let's do 100. What if the circle is really small and you can't see it? No, it's the right size. I mean, maybe. If I tried turning it on and off back on. Wow, I can't read. Turning it off and back on again. No, I have not, Riley. Welcome back to the stream, though. Why isn't this working? I don't know. Uh-oh. We're in trouble. We're in trouble. I'm just going to try to change the whole thing to white and see what happens. That doesn't work either. What is going on? It does not like being in the canvas layer, but if I do this... Interesting. I wonder if the fade canvas layer is affecting it. Maybe not. Am I doing something wrong? Oh, I know why. Oh, I know why. This position needs to be changed. Right. So that position is a world position. It needs to be modified. So the position is wrong. That's what's happening. No, it's not. Wait, that's not right. No, yeah, that is right. Okay. Shoot, I need to change a world position to a screen position. How do I do that? I was just doing this before. Where was I doing that? World position is screen position. Where was I doing that? I thought I did this at some other point. My position is wrong. World position to screen position. Godot 4. (2D). I don't think this is right. I feel like that's not right. Also, it should just be working. No, actually, I think my position is wrong, but also I'm changing the color to just be white, and that's not working either. So what in the heck? That's so weird. Maybe if I turn off filter clip enabled, maybe I screwed myself over with that one. Nope. What? I'm confused. I'm so confused. I'm back. What did I miss? 3D, it's asking the camera to do it for you. So I'm trying a strategy which apparently is not going to work. But basically what I did is I'm basically taking a Sprite 2D with the region set to the screen size, and I'm drawing circles onto that. So I tested that out by doing this. So that works. And I tested it with a shader. So this circle that's being drawn with the custom draw commands is a white circle, which I'm then changing to red with a shader to verify that the texture that's ending up in the shader is the texture that is output after all the custom drawing commands are done. So that is definitely the case. But now what I'm trying to do is leverage that. So now I have this fog of war texture node, which is receiving all the texture positions and drawing circles for them. And then I'm going to apply a shader to it. But the reason, the thing is, it's not working. So there's something I'm doing wrong here. And I'm literally just trying to set this color to white there. And it's not working. I haven't kept up. What have you made? Not much. Just trying to make a new making a new canvas layer. I mean, I don't think the canvas layer is the problem. Wait, is this even... Let's try this. Make unique. That's so weird. If I take this fog of war texture... Well, that's interesting. That's not working either. Okay, color is equal to vec4 1.0. Let me see a white square. Let me see a white square. Okay, interesting. I have no idea what's going on here. Why isn't it highlighting the whole texture? I don't understand that. What? Maybe I have to draw... Okay. Let me try something. draw rect. Oops, wrong one. This is so confusing. Fog of War, you can use draw. That's what I'm using, yeah. You're trying to mix alpha or multiply the screen color. So we gotta... I'm not trying to do either. I'm just trying to get a solid white square to be drawn. I'm just trying to get white circles to be drawn where I want them to be drawn. That's all I'm trying to do. Right now, anyway. And it's not working. Let me try this. Maybe it's just my positions are wrong. I might also be confused about how... these drawing are working with respect to the texture that gets passed into the shader, but let's just do this. New vector 2. Okay, so that works. That's so weird. That doesn't seem right to me at all. So basically what's happening is I'm drawing a circle to the Fog of War texture, right? I'm drawing this, and then in the shader here, I'm trying to set the entire texture to, well, this is white. It says color black, but this is a, you know, it's got 1 across all the RGBA channels. But it's still only coloring the circle. That's so weird. It must not be working the way that I'm thinking it works. Because I thought, oh, okay, so you set up a sprite region here. So I've got a region set to be 640 by 360. Then I draw a circle to the sprite 2D with that draw circle command, right? Or function, rather. And then that texture gets passed into the shader. And I basically have a 640 by 360 texture with a circle in the middle. That means that, you know, I've got an entire region with which I can change pixel colors, but that appears not to be the case. It appears like for some reason, the texture that's ending up in the shader is only the pixels that were drawn as part of the circle, which is so weird because this line here should change that entire region to white. Now, if I do this, draw rect, and I'm just going to say new rect 2 vector 2.0 new vector 2 640 360. So that's the screen size. And then if I say colors.transparent, so I'm going to fill up the screen region with a transparent color. Now if I run the game, I bet you I will see a full white rect covering the screen. Yeah. How in the heck does that even work? Why does it work that way? Isn't that weird? Or am I just losing my mind? Go back to what? Let's see. Let's see what you think, Chris. Tell me where to go, what you want to see. You lost me at shaders, yeah? Are you creating the texture 2 with a size? I'm not even explicitly creating a texture 2D. I'm using a sprite 2D. I'm using a sprite 2D with the region enabled. Oh, wait. Oh, this Fog of War texture is not enabled here. Hold on a second. Oops, I keep doing that. So I'm not creating a texture 2D, I'm using a sprite 2D with a region enabled. Which may be the problem. Drink water, yes indeed, drink water. But I mean where you are drawing... Well, I'm drawing a circle here. But I would expect this to at least be a rect if that was the case, right? So it's like, it's going to create a texture with a minimum size in order to fit the circle, which should still be a rectangle, right? But if I write a shader which is designed to set every pixel of the texture to white, it only fills in the circle. So it's almost like the texture, that's being drawn is not... See, like, it's this, if this was just the minimum rect required to fit the circle, I should at least see a white rectangle, right? Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm going to do next. So that's what I did here with this line, is I just drew a transparent rect, although I could probably do black, that's fine too. But yeah, I just drew a rect to fill the entire screen and then draw all the circles, but I guess I'm just supremely confused why, if I have a shader that's saying turn every pixel to white, it doesn't appear like there's actually like a bounding box or anything. It's literally only changing the pixels that were explicitly drawn to the with the draw command. I guess that's just not how I expected it to work. Draw plus shader. I guess that's just not how I expected it to work, that's all. I was just very confused by that. But in any case, so if I add that clear rect, that will work for sure. Possibly the init behavior is clear. Gotcha. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Hello, Vladimir. What do you think about appropriate game genres for solo dev? I dream about Zelda-like RPG game, but everyone says RPG is hard. It's better to make horror roguelike games. I mean, you can make RPG games as a solo developer. You could think Undertale or whatever, but something like the size and scope of Zelda would probably be a little bit of a stretch. I think if you were going to make an RPG game, it would have to be very focused and like a very narrow experience. That would be my hunch anyway. Depends on the Zelda, right? Yeah, I guess so. So now we have to actually figure out what the heck is going on here. Why is it still drawing white? Oh gosh. Now I gotta figure out why it's still drawing white. This is too much. Don't go to end this loophole of Zelda, yeah. I think there's plenty of ways to make an RPG with a more linear format, just not a full open world one. Yeah, exactly. Are you a full-time game dev? Are you considering it? Yeah, I'm basically a full-time game dev. I don't make a lot of my money from my games, but from my Udemy courses I do. Now I have to figure out why this is still being generated as white. Oh wait, maybe I do want... Maybe I do want to use transparent here. Did I do something wrong again? What in the heck? Oh my gosh, I'm getting so confused. Why is it stuck at white now? I changed the shader. I don't have anywhere now in anywhere where it should be generating or drawing as white. I knew you would concede and use transparency. I gotta figure this out. This is all relatively new for me, so I just gotta wrap my head around it. Why is that happening? What in the world? Maybe I do need to draw it as black. Oh, wow. Bruh. Why is it still drawing a white rectangle? There's nowhere in my code where it's saying to draw a white rectangle. Wow. Game map. Okay, all right. Nowhere in my game is it saying draw a white rectangle anymore. Okay, I'm just gonna clear that. Let's just see what happens here. Okay, that's correct. So that's what I should be seeing. If it is revealed, we're going to use the current color. Color black. What happens if I do this? I just want to see the shader produce the exact result. Why is that happening? Oh, I'm going to lose my mind. I'm literally saying in the shader, just use the texture color coming in. What? The only thing that's white is the circle. So if I change that to black, am I going to get a black rectangle? You should draw it as black and then the cutouts as white and multiply the screen color by the texture 2D. Yeah, I mean, it's going to have to be a little bit more complicated than that because I want the noise there to be like a fog noise effect at the edges of the circle. Just tell Claude to fix it, but gooder. Should use a wait before draw. I don't think that's true. No ifs, I know. What is your shader set as? I don't know. It could be some weird thing as like shader color. What do you mean? What is my shader set as? I do have this render mode unshaded there. I wonder if that's a problem. Probably not. Yeah, that's not the problem. It's just a shader on the sprite texture here. It's canvas item, yeah. It's canvas item. I literally don't know what's happening. Let me try this. Oh, that's not going to do anything. Or wait. I have a feeling the texture sampling is not working the way that I thought it was going to. I have a feeling this texture sampling is not working the way that I thought it would. Public. Override void ready. I'm just trying to run this as a standalone scene. That's so weird. That's so weird. I guess the colors are not coming into the texture the way they should be, I don't think. Maybe that's the problem. I mean, I'm drawing a black rectangle here and a white circle here, and then in the shader, I'm basically saying sample the texture color and set the current color equal to the texture color. So it thinks that the texture color is white at every pixel. So I'm guessing that whatever color is used to draw here is not, it's not actually part of like a texture. So this must not work the way that I think it does. This must not work the way I think it does. Shoot. Are you trying to shade the thing you are drawing to? Yeah. Is that not going to work? I thought the custom drawing would draw to the texture and then pipe that into the shader. I guess that's not true. Don't think you could do that. This is dumb. Shaders are dumb. Age. Hello, OpFade. Okay, so I'm gonna need to... I mean, an easy way around this is to use a canvas group shader. So I could just wrap this in a canvas group here, and then apply the shader to the canvas group. But I guess I'll have to do that then. Okay. Work on... Oh, I don't want this test shader anymore. Get rid of those. Is it Dracula theme for Godot? Kind of. It's kind of the same colors, yeah. Okay. I'm gonna have to revisit that in a little bit because this is confusing me. But anyway, thank you all for watching. Thank you for being here. That'll be the end of the stream. Appreciate you being here. Thanks for the help with the shader stuff. I'll figure this out eventually, probably this afternoon, and then we'll hopefully have something to show you tomorrow. But that'll be it for the stream. Like I said, thank you for watching, and thank you for your support. Again, I have Udemy courses. This one teaches you how to build an online cooperative multiplayer game in Godot 4. So if you're interested in that, it's a great way to support me, and it's a great way to learn Godot. And also, I have other Udemy courses and Gunforged for sale. So all the ways you can support me are linked in the description below. Thanks again, everybody, for being here, and I hope to see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern for the next stream. Okay, bye-bye, everyone.